Imagine holding a 1999 P Delaware State Quarter in your hand. On the surface, it looks like any ordinary quarter, just worth 25 cents. Yet, this little coin holds a fascinating story, full of surprises that make it magical for collectors. Delaware was the first state honored in the U.S. Mint State Quarters program, making this design extra special. It shows Caesar Rodney riding his horse, symbolizing his legendary ride to cast a vote for independence. What makes this quarter extraordinary isn't just its place in history, but the hidden minting mistakes that make some of them incredibly valuable. Among these mistakes, the most famous is called the spitting horse. If you look closely near the horse's mouth, you might see a fine raised crack, a tiny line stretching through the letter C of Caesar all the way to the edge. It looks like the horse is spitting. This happens because the metal die, used to stamp the design, developed a crack during production. Instead of stopping, the mint kept pressing coins, and thousands of quarters were born with this quirk. People have found these coins in circulation, and though they're more common than once thought, they still delight collectors. Depending on how crisp the coin is, these can sell for anywhere from around $3 to $20 in usual grades, and even up to $100 or a few $100s in near-perfect condition, or over $1,000 if professionally graded. Some early reports even suggest values up to $5,000 in rare, top-tier examples. Beyond the spitting horse, there are even more striking variations. Some quarters were accidentally struck on what's called an experimental planchet. This was a golden-hued metal blank meant for the new Sacagawea dollar coin. A few 1999 P Delaware quarters ended up on these golden blanks, giving them a shiny, otherworldly look. These are extremely rare and highly prized. One example graded at MS-66 sold for around $4,800. Some sources mention even higher valuations for exceptional specimens, suggesting that particular rare examples can fetch up to $25,000 depending on condition and history. Then there are those with off-center strikes. When the coin blank isn't properly aligned, the design appears off-kilter. Some of these off-center Delaware quarters were struck partially on the edge of scrap metal fragments, broken bits used instead of full blanks. One striking example was about 20% off-center and was struck on a scrap piece. In a mint state grade like MS-64, it sold for about $400. Other off-center examples, depending on how misaligned they are and how wearable they look, can be worth anywhere from $250 up to a few $1,000s. Some coins got even more dramatic treatment in the minting process. Brockage or die cap errors happen when a struck coin sticks to the die and stamps another coin before coming off. That makes overlapping or blurred designs. One coin with both a brock and a clear double strike in MS-65 condition sold for around $1,200. Triple strikes or bonded pair errors, when two coins get stuck and struck together, are rarer still. A bonded pair or a triple strike Delaware quarter could command a few $1,000s, depending on grade and uniqueness. Clipped planchets add their own charm too. This happens when the blank is part cut improperly, so one side of the coin is missing. Depending on how much is missing and the look of the clipping, these may be valued from $150 to $2,000. Harford County Wine Festival, AIDC recruitment. Other errors like broadstrucks, when the coin expands outside its normal size because the collar failed, could be valued at $200 to $2,500. Even missing edge lettering, where the coin's edge design or text is gone by mistake, is rare and highly sought after. Some of those can fetch $1,000 to as much as $15,000, AIDC recruitment, Harford County Wine Festival. And then there are rumors of the rarest, most unique specimens being valued at staggering figures, over $750,000, though these are highly unusual and probably exceptional cases more than the norm. For collectors, finding one of these errors is like discovering a small treasure. Just last year, on Reddit, one user said they thought they'd found a spitting horse quarter and posted photos hoping someone could confirm. Another coin hunter replied, "Looks consistent with the spitting horse variety. Cool find if so." Reddit. In another thread, someone excitedly shared discovering a spitting horse in a coin roll. The community cheered, "This is indeed a spitting horse." Notice the crack extends all the way to the rim, as well as above the head like a unicorn. Great find, congrats. These reactions show how thrilling even a modest error find can be for collectors. Some people also found coins with what looked like doubling across the whole reverse, even on the horse and letters. But experienced members chimed in with helpful advice: could be classic machine doubling. This type of error is extremely common and generally adds no premium to a coin. This shows how important it is to learn how to tell rare errors from common or minor ones. Others noticed odd silver rims on a Delaware quarter and backtracked what might be going on, plating after the fact, weighing the coin to check if it's altered, and noting that Philadelphia didn't strike silver state quarters, even though proof silver ones came from San Francisco. So if you ever find yourself holding a 1999 P Delaware quarter, don't just spend it, look closely with a magnifier or even a phone camera zoom. See if there's a crack from the horse's mouth, check if it's off-center, or notice any odd color or clipping. If you see something unusual, consider having it checked by a grading service or getting advice from collectors online. If it's a nicely preserved spitting horse or an experimental planchet, you might hold a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The value of these error coins comes from a mix of rarity, clear condition, visual impact, and the story behind the mistake. When an error is both rare and visually striking, and the coin is in top shape, collectors get excited, and often pay up. That's why some of these quarters, though they look like small loose change, can transform into prized collectibles worth serious money. In the end, the 1999 P Delaware State Quarter teaches us that even the smallest things, like a tiny coin, can hold big surprises. From the fun and quirky spitting horse to rare golden quarter errors, it reminds us that paying attention and learning about these little details can turn everyday change into something extraordinary. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just curious, a single glance at your pocket change might lead to your own discovery.